Hello and welcome to Finding the Card Part 2. As promised, in this part I'm going to explain how the trick was done. There are two tricks involved in this. The first one is very simply a prepared deck. You might remember that I didn't shuffle the deck before I got my assistant to pick a card, and I said, can you pick one roughly from the middle? That's because the deck was prepared with the ace of hearts at the bottom. Doesn't matter which suit, but you just need to pick a suit. Ace of hearts at the bottom, the two of hearts is next, three of hearts was next, four of hearts, five of hearts, six of hearts, etc., etc. So let's say they pick from the middle. The reason for that is to stop them picking a heart. Let's say let's choose a black card because it'll make it a bit easier to see what's going on. Let's say they pick the eight of spades. The eight of spades. They will pick the eight of spades. I will say put that on the top of the deck. The deck is spread out face down like that. So put the ace of spades. The eight of spades. What is it again? The eight of spades. I keep putting the ace of spades because of that Motorhead song. So the eight of spades, they put that on the top of the deck. Now I don't know what their chosen card is. In fact, I don't know what their chosen card is for the whole trick until it's revealed. I know where it is, but I don't know what it is. I know that their chosen card is on top of the deck. I immediately cut the deck. And the cut is genuine, there's no sleight of hand involved in that. Now, I don't know where the card is, but I do know, and I don't know what the card is, but I do know that it's next to the hearts. So let's go through here and I'll go try and find it and show you. So it's sort of about halfway through the deck. There is the eight of spades, followed by the ace of hearts, followed by the two of hearts, etc., etc. So I know that the chosen card is next to the eight of hearts. The next stage is that I will cut the deck a number of different times, and what I'm doing is I'm looking for a heart. So let's say that I, rather than just do it randomly, let's cheat a bit and find where the hearts are. Let's say I cut it like that, and I've got the five of hearts on top of the deck. Now, what do I now know? Well, I know that the card under that is the six of hearts, and then under that is the seven of hearts, and under that is the eight of hearts. But I'm actually more interested in what's happening on the other end of the deck. I know that on the bottom of the deck we should find the four of hearts, the three of hearts, the two of hearts, the ace of hearts, and whatever the chosen card is. So it's very simple. I look at that and say, okay, that's 5. If it happened to be the jack, I count that as 11, queen is 12, king is 13. You could, of course, just not prepare the deck with those 3 court cards and just ignore them until you get a 1 to 10, but either way, there's the 5 of hearts. So what I could have done was I could have gone, all right, I'm going to deal a, let's see, that one looks like the right card. Is that your card? Yes, it is, of course. But you remember that what I did was a little bit different. I dealt out a certain amount of cards, and then I had 3 cards, and I appeared to give my assistant a choice, and the one that she chose turned out to be the correct card. So that's the second trick, and that's the bit I'm going to show you now. So I go instead of I know that this is the right one, and instead of turning it over, I put that down on the table or whatever, and then I'll put 2 more down. So what I've got is basically this setup, and now I'm going to tell you how to force the choice, remembering that this one's the one you want. I could, of course, have, instead of dealing out 5, I could have dealt out 4 and then 3, and then in that case the one I wanted would have been the one in the middle or whatever, but I just found it easier to make this one the right one. So I ask the assistant to point to 2 of them. One time in 3, they'll point to the 2 that aren't the desired cards, the right one and the centre one, and that's easy. I just go, right, remove those, and there's 1 card left, and they get them to turn it over, and it's the correct card. More often, 2 times out of 3, they will pick 1 card that is the one that I want them to pick, and 1 other card. In that case, so let's say they touch the 2 outer cards. I say, right, eliminate the centre card, and then I say, okay, so now can you touch 1 card? Let's say they touch this card, the other undesired card. Well, I've already removed a card, so it seems natural to remove another one, and that leaves one you want. Let's say they touch the card that I do want them to pick, this one, then I will say, okay, that's your choice. You sure you want that? And the reason that I'm saying that is because now I'm making it sound as if touching a card is going to mean that that's the one you choose, rather than, so I'm changing it from I'm probably going to chuck away the card that you pick to I'm probably going to choose the card you pick. They will say, oh yes, okay, well, turn it over, and of course it's the right card. So that's a bit complicated, but let's go over it again, and it's very easy once you learn how, or once you've done it a couple of times. Remember that the card that I'm forcing the person to pick is this card here. First say, can you touch 2 cards? If I'm lucky, they'll touch the 2 cards that I don't want, and I just eliminate them and ask them to turn over the remaining card. If they touch 1 card that I want and 1 card that I don't want, then I will remove the untouched card. So let's say they touch these 2 cards, I will remove this card. Or, of course, the other way around, if they touched the 2 outer cards, I would be removing the centre card. But either way, we're left with the card we want and the card we don't want. And then I say, can you now touch 1 card? If they touch the one that isn't wanted, I remove that as well, leaving the one we do want. If they touch the desired card, I say, okay, that's your choice. Are you sure you want that one? Yes. Okay, and because I've given the impression that touching a card now means choosing it, I can turn it over and it seems natural, and that's the card. So those are the 2 elements of that trick. The forced choice, the bit with the 3 at the end, you can do it with a lot of tricks, of course, but you have to be careful not to do it more than once in front of the same audience, because you're likely to use a different sequence, and so they'll notice that, oh, he's not doing the same thing, or she's not doing the same thing, and they might suspect that it's a, well, they may suspect anyway if they think about it, but it will make it more obvious to them that the person choosing isn't really choosing. And that is how that trick is done.